Hey everybody, Ryan Bellinger with Golf News Net here. We just got a package to our door from our friendly FedEx man. It's a piece of equipment you probably want to see, so we're going to unbox it with you. So let's go take a look at it. Alright, so we've gone through the process of unboxing the box from the FedEx man, because when you get these kinds of things, you get a box in a box. So we took care of the first box. This is the second box. And here's what you get when you open the second box. The tagline, "Changing the Face of Golf." And this, I believe, is a really interesting development in driver design. And it's from the folks at Cobra Golf, who have made some really interesting drivers over the last 3 or 4 years. I love the Fly Z. I love the King LTD. The F6 and F7 lines, which kind of were the more mainstream successors to the Fly Z. I didn't really play much because I had the King LTD and really enjoyed it. But they've gotten rid of the King LTD line, and they have consolidated their driver offerings into what is now the, naturally, F8. So they've got the F8 and the F8 Plus. So at an event in Florida, they kind of unveiled the whole new line. Not only the F8 and F8 Plus driver, but fairway woods, hybrids, a single length hybrid, which I think is interesting, and then also F8 irons and F8 one length irons. But we're here to talk about this guy, the King F8 driver. This is the F8 Plus model. There's an F8 model, as I mentioned, and want to kind of run down some of the features that we found. And I want to start at the other end of the club, actually, with this Cobra Connect. Now we've seen this in the F7 driver lineup, and I thought this was a cool integration because this is the Arcos sensor for Arcos Golf integrated natively into the grip. And so you're able to use Cobra equipment natively now throughout the entire F8 line to track your golf performance using the Arcos platform. Arcos probably hasn't had enough adoption yet. It deserves more. It's really interesting, especially if you play a fair amount of golf, to get a good sense of what you do when you play golf, your tendencies on specific courses, in specific situations. And having this native integration, I think, will encourage more people to use the platform. So I hope that they do, using it with the Cobra Connect and Arcos combinations. So that's on the one end. Then we get to kind of the big money here, which is the head design. So first of all, in recent years, we have seen with Cobra an offering of very colorful head shapes. We've seen blue, we've seen orange, we've seen green, but in the King LTD, we saw a movement toward black. And I liked the black head. I like how it stands out in a way that it's classic. Like, in a world where everybody's being a little bit different, it's just straight up black. So with the F8 line, in the drivers and the fairways, they're offering this just good old black looking head, and then a gray model that actually has accents where you can kind of see the difference between the obvious carbon fiber and the part that's carbon fiber, but you really can't tell it's carbon fiber. And I think that that's a standout thing. It's different than white. It's not an accent color. Callaway's kind of commandeered that a little bit with the green. So I think the move to black is a good one. The other thing that's kind of the big story on this club, and I think is really the most important piece of this, is this face. So you see the inscription, CNC milled. This is the first driver, mainstream driver that I'm aware of, that has a CNC precision milled face insert. Uses 811 titanium, and this is CNC precision milled, so that's crazy cool. You see that obviously a lot on putters. You see that sometimes on wedges. Not every wedge, but higher end wedges you certainly see that. Never seen this in a driver before. And using CNC precision milling instead of hand polishing on this face insert gives the folks at Cobra an opportunity to be extremely precise in their tolerances and how these faces look. It's got the E9 different variable face thickness as a component of it, and so by doing the precision milling, you can obviously have a unique look to the face, for one, and for two, it also allows them to be very precise in the way that they move weight around. So it's 10% lighter, 3% thinner. Obviously that's the move in golf with your technology, especially in the face. Make things thinner, lighter, move the weight around to be able to do more things that you want with it, and you can do that with CNC milling. I think that's really cool. I think if this takes off, you're going to see more of this. The other piece of this you're going to see in the head, which again is carbon fiber, 5-ply. You're going to see the movement that we've seen toward these kind of wings or aerodynamic markers, however you want to call it, trips, I believe is the term that they're using at Cobra. These are all designed to increase swing speed and help aerodynamic performance, therein increasing your swing speed. So getting a little bit more speed from the club head from the swing speed that you already have natively. We have the MyFly 8 ways of adjusting this. Now this is with the Plus model, so we've got a lower loft range with this set than the standard F8. So this is 8 to 11. You got 8 different settings. You got a couple adjustment settings to be a little bit more upright and encourage a draw. And then on the weight side of things, there is a distinct difference between the F8 Plus for a better player and the F8. First of all, the head profile is a little bit different, a little bit more compact and traditional looking in the F8 Plus, a little bit bigger looking, a little bit deeper in the F8. And then the weighting issue is a little bit different too. So on the F8 Plus, you have 2 weights for your center of gravity adjustments. You have your 2-gram weight and you have your 12-gram weight. And you can have 12-gram weight in front and the 2-gram weight in back for a little bit more forward, low hitting, lower center of gravity with a more forward position. So that way you're hitting a little bit more of a penetrating drive, or you can flip them, of course, using the wrench that comes with it, and you can try and get a little bit more forgiveness and a little bit higher ball flight. So that's something that's obviously your choice. But with the F8 model instead of the F8 Plus, this weight actually moves toward the heel, and then you have the same different types of weights so that you can try to achieve a draw bias by keeping the heavier weight here, by moving that center of gravity, or you can have it back, have a more neutral setting, so that way you can go a little bit higher with it, not worry so much about that draw setting, and having as much forgiveness as possible from your moment of inertia by moving that center of gravity a little bit back and maybe a little bit deeper. So interesting product. The price point is great for these at $399. Obviously, we've seen moves in the market toward $500 drivers. Cobra is committed to keeping drivers at $400. That's interesting to see. We're going to take this guy out for a test drive. Actually, I have a round of golf tomorrow, so this is absolutely perfect timing to put this into play. There are 3 great shafts that you get to choose from. We went with Hazardous. It's been an awesome shaft for us. We went X, so we'll see how that goes. There are a couple of other options out there available stock, and then, of course, a whole bunch of different other aftermarket options. So we will take this for a test spin, and we'll give you feedback in a future video. Thanks for watching, everybody.